Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vinny Makes the Hall of Fame Case for ... And it's a really good one. And if you are into basketball history, if you are into contributors like Vinny Lospinuso is, the host of this show, or really the subject of the show, this is going to be a great one. And if you don't know this name, you're going to, and you're going to realize very quickly, because I know where Vinny's going to go with this, why Leo Ferris belongs in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Vinny, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good myself. I was gonna say that March is here, and I'm worried that some people my age could get drafted into war. That's how I'm mostly feeling.
Oh, well, I don't think you have too much to worry about there.
Well, in general, I'm doing fine myself here in the States, though I am concerned for one of my friends in Romania because he is very, very worried that Russia could invade Moldova, and he has a lot of friends in Moldova, and he's pretty scared right now. So I'm wishing the best for him. And I also am now working for yet another place called American Football International, which is your one-stop spot to watch, to recap, to review, and to preview any American football game from any of the leagues outside America or Canada. So we're talking about the Mexican leagues, the European leagues, the South American leagues, all of them. That's your one-stop shop, and I'm one of the writers for it. I'm the writer for the Liga de Football de Americano Profesional, which means the LFA, the American Football League of Mexico. So
interesting.
Make sure you go there. Just advertising myself.
Yeah.
Make sure that people go there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of people would be interested to know how football is sort of growing across the world. And a lot of the world watches the Super Bowl, but are they necessarily playing the game? Well, Vinny can tell you that they are at a grassroots level. So that's really interesting to know. But Leo Ferris is somebody who, this is actually one of those rare times I don't have to research who you came up with because I know exactly who he is. But there's like reasons just even before the biggest thing where you can make a case for him. So tell everyone about his role in basketball in the 50s.
Oh, why do I have to start with the 50s? I can go back to I can go to the 40s for his impact.
Right, then do it.
Okay. First off, Leo Ferris is from Elmira, New York, upstate. I know that myself. But in terms of his career, along with Ben Kerner, he founded a team called the Buffalo Bisons for the National Basketball League. So you're probably wondering, what are the Buffalo Bisons? Well, that's today's Atlanta Hawks. That's the same team that became the Atlanta Hawks. And I said National Basketball League. I didn't say National Basketball Association. The reason why is because the National Basketball League was the premier basketball league before the NBA and is actually a result of the NBA of today. I'm going to get to that in just a second. When he became the founder and owner of the then Buffalo Bisons, he signed one of the first ever African-American players in professional basketball, Pop Gates. And Pop Gates in the Hall of Fame. And, Pop Gates said in his book, Indiana, The Birth of Professional Football, that getting signed by Leo Ferris to play for the Bisons was the highlight of his life, his career. To be accepted as one of just two black people in a league that was almost entirely white. That's big in itself for hiring one of the first ever professional black players. But his role in the NBL, besides just the founder and owner of the Bisons, would only increase. You know why the NBA exists in the first place today? It's because of Leo Ferris. Leo Ferris, at that time, was responsible for organizing with the BBA, the Basketball Association of America, BAA, and because of him, he was the most influential owner in the sport and did what was known as a shotgun wedding. And Leo Ferris is the reason why the NBA even existed.
Okay, what do you mean by a shotgun wedding?
Shotgun wedding. He was done very, very fast, and he was able to orchestrate it with all the other owners, with both the NBL and the BAA,
okay,
to get the NBA started. So yeah, if you're talking about why the NBA even exists, the NBL was seen as the bit more of a prestigious league, and he's the reason why it exists in the first place. So everything you see with the NBA, if you think about it, Leo Ferris is the reason why those initials even exist in the first place.
So when did he sort of like go from Buffalo to Syracuse? I was trying to find that out, but I couldn't really, because he took over the Syracuse Nationals heavily recruited him to be their executive, and it paid off. In 1955, they were champions. The Nationals are still with us, just in a different capacity.
The Sixers, the Philadelphia 76ers, that's what they moved and renamed themselves as.
Right. So it's not like we're talking about a gentleman who didn't build, because a lot of these early owners didn't very, very influential, but didn't necessarily have the team success. Leo does. So he has that so he built a very powerful team there. But I think really the biggest contribution he did isn't just as an executive. I mean, I think you and I could agree that just as an executive alone, and just for what he did with help orchestrating the merger of the two leagues with the creation of the NBA, we've got a Hall of Fame case right there for a contributor. But he was the mastermind behind the biggest rule change, I think, of almost any team sport. Maybe the only thing I can think of that might be close is when they moved the mound back in baseball.
Yeah, because back in the day, like I remember Mike Korzemba, I think it was, did a video on this about a high school game that ended in a 2-0 win. The reason why he mentioned that was because he explained the creation of the shot clock in the NBA and how important it was. Because at that time, games were very, very short. Well, they were long. Like there wasn't many fouls. They were very low scoring. And the reason why that was the case was because people were able to hold on, because the players were able to hold on to the ball and just drag it out for as long as they wanted with no repercussions. They could just hold the rock as much as they wanted. They wouldn't get penalized for it. They would never.
It's like keep away.
Yeah, they basically played keep away for a long time. And, you know, many fans were dejected. They didn't feel like, I really want to come to see just a few guys hold a ball. Boring. So he, along with Danny Biasone, who was the owner of the Nationals, also a Hall of Famer. Well, Ferris is not a Hall, but Biasone is a Hall of Famer. They collectively created the shot clock. And Biasone deserves a lot of the credit for it, absolutely. But it was Leo Ferris who was responsible for making it 24 seconds in the first place, and arguably, at least in my opinion, deserves way more of the credit, especially also as the general manager of the Nationals.
Yeah, because it was more of a hands-on in the trench sort of position. I mean, although he wasn't a player, but reimagining basketball, like going to a basketball game, and I think everyone listening or watching can agree with that. It's a fast-paced game. Take away that 24-second shot clock. What the hell do we have?
We would have a situation where people always say that baseball is boring. I don't think baseball is boring personally, but a lot of people think baseball is boring.
If we have baseball this year.
Yeah. Yeah, if we have baseball. But, you know, whether you watch it in the MLB or Japan, Korea, whatever, baseball is baseball. But, you know, people always say baseball is boring. Can you imagine what basketball would be like if for the entire game. Players just hold the ball with no repercussions, just standing there minding their own business. Chances are it wouldn't be very fun.
Sean
And
Bradley would have been a lot
Leo,
better. You just pass it to Sean, he just goes like this. And he would have been more useful.
yeah, but what he did really changed the game, like legit changed the game in terms of making that, because now basketball is so synonymous with being a fast-paced, high-scoring game. If it wasn't for the shot clock, do you think it would have still been seen that way? I don't think
No.
so. And hell no, definitely wouldn't have. It would have been the game of today where people could just hold the ball as much as they want. Now, the shot clock is so synonymous with the sport that it's viewed like, with the shot clock, shoot in. It's so synonymous with people's minds. Like, it's so ingrained with it. It's like my case for Doc Adams, where it's not like the stuff that he did to the sport was so, like, obscure and trivial. This is stuff that's so integral to the game itself. And yeah, I love my trivial guys, absolutely. But I gave even a higher presence to the people that did things that were so basic, but were so important for the time. Ferris is one of those guys where he created something that's so basic in today's game, where it would be so weird to imagine a game without it. But he experienced that, and he's the reason why the game changed for the better all across the world. It's because he created the shot clock. And
when was that implemented?
I'm not sure the exact dates. I know that what he did, this is back when, like, in the early 50s, I think it was. Like, it was because he lobbied in 1954 to get it done.
Mm-hmm. So what
it was
you're
19
at, Go ahead.
1954 was the reason as to why I think it got in. Like, it was 1954.
1954, yeah. So just even try to imagine that without it. I also read too that he was a lot of the showmanship of the NBA you can also attribute to Ferris. Just halftime entertainment, just making the whole thing
Fun.
event fun. Actually,
He was about the man was a marketer. The man knew how to sell things. The man knew how to engage people. He knew how to win arguments, and he knew how to please fans.
Yeah.
Like, this is also a reason as to why I'm down with seeing people like, I'm going to save it for another show, like people that are into, like, marketing with the league, with, like, these leagues as well, because they're integral to the game's growth itself, and it gets fans interested. And Leo Ferris was someone who was able to organize halftime shows. He got, like, Dean Martin and Lewis there. You got Sarah Vaughn there, Duke Ellington there. Like,
these are big
he
names
was able to
that
do
era.
this because it helped boost attendance. Now, when you go to a game, you are so synonymous with halftime shows and fireworks events and everything else. But he realized, why does the basketball game have to just be about the basketball? In reality, not only is it a business, but it's also a form of entertainment. And he views it as, anyone can enjoy it. And there's so many ways that people can enjoy something. Why not bring in some of these other people from other walks of life to get other people interested in going to the game? And it worked.
Yeah,
it absolutely worked.
If it wasn't for him, Young MC wouldn't have a job.
That's true. Young MC would not have a job.
Yeah, every now and then, it just seems like it's the same late 80s rappers I keep seeing at a halftime, because I have the NBA League Pass. So, like, I'll watch the games not on a network, but on that, where they're just showing the halftime show. It's like, I almost played an inner game in my head. Okay, like, which 80s rapper or early 90s rapper am I going to see? And sometimes it's been Young MC, a lot bigger than I used to be. Rob Bass, DJ Easy Rock. You ever see where Ja Rule pretty much got a flat reaction? He's not even that washed up yet. Got this flat reaction in Milwaukee. You all having fun? And then the crowd did nothing.
Also considering it is as someone as able to sell stuff. I mean, he left sports in 1955 and became in the real estate business. So he was able to sell real estate. So I'm sure he definitely had that experience owning a team, making the NBA a thing, creating the shot clock, and doing halftime shows that expertise led him to become a good real estater.
And this could be his year because he is nominated in the contributor category. I believe it's a contributor category. For
Yeah, it
all
is
we know,
contributor category.
for all we know, he's already been chosen. We're going to know very quickly when that is, because the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, and credit to them, there's a lot of things I can criticize them for, but we know their pattern. At the Final Four, we're going to know the next class, and that'll be really exciting. Sometimes, though, they let the direct elect ones come out before. That's something they're not always consistent with, and this would be a direct elect category. So,
Mm.
for all we know, Leo's been chosen, but he's one of, oh God, so many.
You're now. Some people have questioned me for my more liberal taking when it comes to halls of fames, and yes, in case
Myself
you're curious,
included.
what?
Myself included on occasion.
Not as much as me.
Well, no. I said myself. I've challenged you on a few things, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Oh, but
Yeah.
the reason as to why is because like, and I like the way that basketball looks at this. Like, the reason as to why I like the Basketball Hall of Fame, and I personally view it as my favorite one at like the main four.
Really?
That's serious. I'm
Wow.
serious.
Okay. I didn't know
It's
that.
my favorite. It's my. I mean, wait, with my pattern, you're shocked now.
I know. I suppose not. I guess because like you and I, 90% of our conversations have been football and baseball. So, but no, I mean, I suppose I should have deduced that from what I know about you.
Well, it's mostly because like when it comes to the Basketball Hall of Fame, they realize that it's not just about playing the game. There's way more important to the game itself than just the game itself. It's because it's a business.
Mhm.
And also another reason why I like him is because you look at their contributor section, it is gigantic. It is absolutely gigantic. And I'm like saying, wow, why can't they have this mentality for people that do baseball and football? Because there's a mentality for football like, oh, they don't mean anything, or like baseball, it's like, but for basketball, oh, we'll put you there because that matters. And
Mm.
I love that as someone who's a massive contributor fan, because the contributor section, a lot of people just think like, it's just like, no, it is massive because it includes, owners, executives, general managers, scouts, inventors, broadcasters, and there's some even inducted, not awards, like actually inducted, like Chick Hearn was inducted for it. Dick Vitale was inducted for it. There are examples like that. Other people that did it, like it's such a massive, massive, massive list. And yeah, it's my biggest reason. And they also included Black pioneers. They put in, all these people from all these different eras. It's so a situation where it's like with basketball, I find it the least because it's the one that I get the least pissed off about, because I feel like
Okay.
I feel like there's no era of feeling like, oh, there's no hope, where I feel like, you might have a chance if with the right case. And I like that. Yeah, obviously there's things, obviously I don't think they're perfect.
Mhm.
Obviously, I think they could do a few things and maybe release who actually votes on this. That also would be nice.
That would be.
That but considering their voting pattern, considering I like it, I'm fine. I can accept that because I don't really have an issue with the selections they have. And generally I endorse it. I generally really, really endorse it.
Sounds good. All right. Well, Vinny, thanks so much. I look forward to see if Leo's going to get in this year. I look forward to who you've got next. I'm sure you'll let me know. Do you know that already, or?
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
personally think, and actually I was thinking about this beforehand, but I
Okay.
feel like even more so with the stuff going on in Eastern Europe, my next choice will be another basketball choice, and I'm going to choose the father of Lithuanian basketball himself, Frank Lubin.
You told me. Yeah, you told me about this already. I forgot that you mentioned that was something you were thinking about. All
Mhm.
right. I really look forward to that one. That would be a really good conversation. I might rewatch the Dream Team versus Lithuania in '92.
Just watch anything with Lithuania, because like Lithuania, I'm going to mention that more for his show, but Lithuania, like I'm going to say this more there, but if you
Save it.
think
Save it.
Canada's
Save it for later. Save it for that show.
he has a really interesting case, and it's way more interesting than it meets the eye, just like Transformers or whatever. More than meets the eye.
I'm Starscream guy myself, but that's another story for another day. All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, stay safe. Check out some of the other shows that we do once a week. Evan Nolan and I, we look at the latest Hall of Fame news. I do other shows on entertainment. I look at really shitty songs and ask, how the hell did they go number one? Evan Nolan, my co-host on the Hall of Fame show, was a special guest. And actually, he sang the Canadian national anthem because I won a bet on how the hell did this go number one, where we looked at Mac the Knife. Look for that coming up soon by the late, great Bobby Darin. Chris Bourdain and I, we look at crappy TV. Sooner or later, up on the show is going to be, we look at that 80s show. A show by people who lived through the 80s, but don't really remember it too well, because that's not what it was all about. All that and a whole lot more. Take care, everyone.
Stay safe.